Hey, yo. Let's get it cracking, y'all. Let's get them bear downs in the chat. Let's get them bear downs in the chat, man. Especially if you're a super fan. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. The final game of the season is here. Thank God. The Chicago Bears might have legitimately gone out the worst way I've ever seen a head coach go out. Hopefully, this is the last week that we will see Matt Nagy in the building. Oh, man. I'm not even going to talk about the game a ton. You know what I'm saying? This is more about what the future of what the Bears are going to be able to do. This is more about, what they'll be able to do moving forward. Um, it's gonna be interesting to see what off seasons come. Somebody said Bruce said, "Where's the suck emoji?" Hey, we got some dope emojis if you join up with the Bears super fans, man. First things first, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. I appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with me, man. Hit the like button, subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports every single day on this channel, man. You're gonna see some kind of content dropping every day, so hit that like button. If you want to join the Breeze super fans, man, we got some dope emojis. We got access to the Discord where a bunch of the P1s were in there. I think it was me, Baki, Burn, P Kid was in there. We all were in there just dying laughing at what we saw today, man. Especially that second half. We're all over on Twitter as well. Follow your boy on Twitter as well, man. It's going to be interesting to see what the Bears do moving forward. It's going to be interesting to see what the Bears do moving forward because to me, from what I'm hearing, from what I've consistently heard, there is going to be a shift in the front office itself. And that's the part that does scare me. Right? There's going to be a shift in the front office. Not that Ryan Pace will completely be moved out of the front office, but that Ryan Pace will actually just be moved around, maybe moved into that AK role. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I like that because especially with what we're hearing about him as well, that essentially if he's not going to, if he does stay, the Bears really don't have a great chance at a head coach that is that is of any ilk. But here is the H Trace said, we trash just came through. Shout out to Mike Davis. Oh, yeah, if you're a super fan, man, drop the get him out of here. Shout out to P Kid, man. Drop the get him out of here emoji in the chat as well, man. It's a scary thought when you think about, oh, Kid is in the building. Look at Kid trying to do the studio setup thing over here, man.
Hey, man, I got to rearrange some things. So I was in the process of it. Then I realized, oh, the game was over because I definitely wasn't watching that joint.
Hey, listen, the game was over by the second half. It's okay. It's okay. Listen.
I was
Bears
trying to get ready for the Bulls game.
Breeze Nation, this is all you needed to know. My wife looked up from her computer. She's sitting next to me doing schoolwork you know what I'm saying? Just kind of focusing on a thing. And she looked up as Patrick Peterson catches the interception. And she says, who was he throwing that to? No, at first she said, no, at first she didn't realize what happened. She was like, oh, wow, are we really that bad? He just ran it 66 yards back. That's what they said. He just ran it 66 yards back. And I was like, yeah. She was like, what's the defense doing? I was like, babe, we were on offense. She was like, we were on offense, and then they showed a replay. She was like, who was he throwing that to? It was the epitome of this season. She was like, are we really that bad? It was like, yes, love. She was like, how do you watch this every week? It was like, I don't know. I blame my dad. You know what I'm saying? So it was wild to see the game, man. It was you know what? It's always wild when your wife finally like notices, and it's just like, what's happening right now? They don't look like they're competing. It's like they're not. They're not, love. Don't you worry about that. Don't you worry at all about that. Just keep your eyes on the computer.
I'm such a bad co-host. What was the score?
31-17 it ended up being, and Andy Dalton and Nagy. Here's the thing. So it's, you know what? The fact that you didn't watch the game, you did miss a lot. The only reason I say you should have watched the game.
Whoa. We was up 14-0 when I
Yeah.
looked at it.
Yeah, listen, the fact that you didn't watch the game, the one thing I will say, the reason you should have watched the game, not even to do this, just to see how your boy Nagy went out. Just to see how your boy Nagy went out. I'm going to be honest with you, kid. I've watched a lot of bad football coaches come through here. I've never seen a football coach go out in their last game like this.
Dog, hold on.
Fourth and 1, 3 times.
Hold on,
he
dog.
throws the ball from shotgun.
Hold on, dog. Hold on.
Fam, I've never seen this in my life.
So this is what I had to do this afternoon, right? So I had to do a training for your boys' business. That was cool. Right. Got them up and running. They rocking and rolling. Boom. Money being made over there.
Big money.
Got some food. Came back.
We got to do you like Norris. Shots.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, gotta do all that, right? Mugs. Hey, listen. Anyway, so I look at the score. It was 14-0 and right before the half.
Yeah.
And that's when I saw Kirk Cousins doing Kirk Cousins things, trying to drive down the field. At that point, I figured 14-0 at half. Minnesota barely scored. If they do score, oh well. Guess what? I think we're gonna be in a good spot. I'm gonna go ahead and let this happen. Get ready for the Bulls tonight.
Right.
This is a genuine reaction. I really did not know the score. When you said 31-17, I'm thinking, hey, Chicago put up 31 points. Not a bad way to go out.
Yeah.
You didn't say Minnesota put up 31 points.
So we scored. Oh, you thought the Bears scored 31.
I thought the Bears won.
And it's the worst way I've ever seen a head coach go out in my life. It's the worst way I've ever seen a head coach go out in my life.
Shake his hand at the end of the game?
Not only disrespecting his players to the point where he's not giving the ball to David Montgomery on 4th and 1, right? Not only disrespecting him like that, takes him off the field. By the way, the one time he did go with it with Monty on 4th and 1, Monty got 7 yards and stiff-armed 3 people on the way to it. The P Kid emoji in the chat is priceless, dog. That's exactly it right there. Just a stank face looking back like Nagy's gonna Nagy. But let me ask y'all this, right? So here's the kind of the part I was breaking down because I'm not spending no time on this game at all other than to laugh at what we saw. It was hilarious. I'm telling you, Maya looking up from her computer like, are we really this bad? It was like, did you think I was flipping tables all year for no reason? But so
dog, what happened?
As we what happened?
No, seriously, I thought we won.
So here's the thing. We're probably, from everything I'm hearing, from everything I've seen, from all the major names that have reported on this, although I've seen it on Twitter. Y'all know how that goes on Twitter. You know, that's where the idiots go to play. It seems like Ryan Pace is still going to be in the building. They were going to move him kind of up into the AK role where you bring in a GM, you put him underneath. You know what I'm saying? Here's the question that I have, because from what I've heard, the Bears aren't going to be able to attract those big names. Maybe in a snowball chance, you might be able to get what is my man's name? Sean Payton to come in. Snowball's chance. In the depths of Tartarus, you might be able to get Sean Payton in the building. But it's seeming like we're leaning towards a GM being put in place and then a coach that might be Jim Harbaugh being brought into the building. I'm not a Harbaugh guy. I understand the success he's had. This is what I will say, though. Harbaugh in San Francisco, whether you like him or not, I just think he's more of a Tom Thibodeau. He'll absolutely get in there and win with you, but you're going to be able to choke somebody. At some point, he's going to get choked out or he's going to choke somebody out. It's just how he is. He wears on people. Here's the question I have, though. With how he's built the staffs in the past, is he worth it? So his previous staff, Jim Harbaugh, Greg Roman, who, by the way, got Colin Kaepernick to a certain point where he could take you to a Super Bowl and then kind of be middle of the pack quarterback. He was bad kind of towards the end. And then you got Vic Fangio, who, by the way, was just fired. Is there a reunion where you bring in Jim Harbaugh and you get Vic Fangio in the building? I don't want Vic as my head coach. I think we've seen that kind of fail out in Denver. But is there a reunion there that is worth it? Because you're not bringing Vic in with an entirely new set of guys. You're bringing Vic in with, I mean, literally a lot of the same guys that he had here. A lot of the same. Mac. You're adding. Well, I think Quinn wasn't here, but Hicks might be here. Roquan was a part of them. That was drafted. You know what I'm saying? Eddie Jackson was playing his best football under him. Jalen Johnson is somebody who could come in and absolutely benefit from that. Maybe getting that Kyle Fuller benefit. The line itself, I mean, the defensive line in the second half still was getting pressure on them. We just saw some of the worst coverages I've ever seen in my life. All right.
I didn't know what that noise was. I was looking at it. I you know what, for me, I'm like looking at this and in pure disbelief, because I'm like, how did it get so out of hand? Like when was the turning point? And then I look up and I see that the Lions beat Packers. I was like, when did the Lions beat the Packers?
I'll tell you this. And if you guys want to sign up with FanDuel as well, hit the link in the description below. A tough week for me FanDuel-wise, although I did pick the Vikings defense, so it worked out a little bit. But a tough week for me FanDuel-wise because I picked up, like, the Packers versus Detroit. You know, I'm playing the matchups. I'm not thinking in my head, like, I'm thinking like regular football, you know, first year playing FanDuel full-time and stuff like that. And then I thought about it, and I was like, oh, they don't care about this game. The Packers could care less if they lose to the Lions today. Like, it still looks bad, but who cares? Like, we're in the playoffs. We're dominating right now. So I was like, oh no. So I started looking. I'm like, oh, these guys, this ain't going to work out for me.
This ain't going to work out. Hey, listen, some good games over the weekend. Some rivalries that people thought was going to be rivalries that absolutely end up being a very lopsided win. We talk about that on Monday. Yeah. Because Cowboys won that one easily. But I didn't
disrespectfully.
I didn't have the Browns beating the Bengals. I didn't have the Lions beating the Packers. I definitely had us beating the Vikings. It's a weird week, man. A weird weekend right there. Check that out. Okay. Listen, back to this Bears talk real quick. I'm just kind of also scrolling Twitter to see when it's official. Like, the post game is happening right.
This is also, you know, Matt Nagy watch as well.
Like, yeah, I'm waiting for the hammer to drop. Like, when are they going to say we've officially let him go? The game is over. The season is done. Like, there's no way he walked back into that locker room with something encouraging to say. Did he say thank you for my opportunity and leave? Like, what just happened here? Like, I want to understand.
Can you imagine him walking back into the locker room just like, hey, guys, you know, I appreciate you. Shut up. Oh, God.
No, it's like nothing you can say. The season is over. We ain't coaching nothing. There's no practice this week. It is done. Hey, listen, I wish he would come to my locker if I'm like Montgomery. Like, dog, what?
Bro.
What are you talking about?
Bro.
Get out. Like, what are we talking about here? Dog, I can't do it.
That's one of the worst ways I've ever seen a head coach go out.
He got to make it to the airport.
Fam, there's one of the worst ways I've ever seen a head coach go out in my life. I'm going to be honest with you. I want to say, like, we were excited about the Trestman era, but I believe the Trestman era ended with a win. I know the Lovey era ended with a loss because we didn't make the playoffs that year. But even so,
still had a winning record.
Oh, yeah, but that was a tough season. Like everybody always looks at that, but they don't remember like how the wins fell. It was like a lot of wins in the beginning. Jay had an injury, a lot of losses. Win.
Oh, wait. So you mean like our last two seasons?
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely.
All right. So we fired Lovey after one. He had two.
Oh no, yeah, I'm with you. No, we're here. Hey, look, he's got to be gone. Trestman era was the worst. Hey, dog, look at them offensive numbers. I would beg to differ. I mean, listen.
Hey, we got revisionist history right here because guess what? I looked at those numbers from Trestman's era. It wasn't as bad. It wasn't as
Nah,
bad.
it was bad. It was
It
bad.
was bad, but
It was
it wasn't
bad.
as bad as this.
It wasn't as bad as this. No, they could still put points up on the board. You still had enough offensive weapons where they would still get, 21 points and stuff like that. But it was pretty bad. No, back-to-back 50 burgers is a tough, off of a bye as well. You know what I'm saying? Tough losses there, man. Not even competitive in any of
Not even competitive.
those. So I mean, listen, what do you expect the Bears to do outside of just firing Nagy? Where do you see this team making its moves? Do you see them moving on from Ryan as well? Do you see them just moving Ryan into the AK role? How do you think that's going to work?
No, man. I actually had a conversation with one of the people, Jay Crit. We was chopping it up, and realistically, I could see them keeping him. I could see him being moved into the president of football operations for the Bears, and that actually might not be a bad move for him, to be honest with you. Because remember, we have not had football guys in any any professional designation within this team. So it's like we did not have a football of operations guy who was a football guy.
Yeah.
So this would be like the first time that that's possible for us to have a top-down organization where it's football guys who actually know about football, no matter how we like them, really running this organization like a real football or a class, let's say a modern football organization. That's
Right.
what I'm trying to say, like a modern football organization. We're in the mom and pop era, and I think that's a good thing for Chicago. Like we are exiting the mom and pop era of the Chicago Bears, which is great. I love to see it.
I will say this, listen, y'all already know me. I think that Pace has done enough to absolutely secure his resignation. But if you're going to keep him, the one thing I will say is that if the Bears are going to be successful soon with a new head coach, guess which pieces are going to have to be successful for that to work? It's going to have to be Tevin Jenkins. It's going to have to be Justin Fields. It's going to have to be David Montgomery. As much as I can't stand Ryan Pace managing the salary cap, which I think is the most egregious thing he's done since he's been here, and I think that's more egregious than drafting Mitch. Like, drafting Mitch is fine if you can pay dudes to stand in front of him. It may not be the greatest move. It's still a bad move compared to who went after him. But guess what? If there's dudes standing in front of him, is he the worst quarterback we've seen in Bears history? No, he's not. And we've seen some bad ones. You know what I mean? The more so scary part is how much control is Ryan gonna have? How much is Ryan gonna be over? Because listen, if you're president of football operations, you know what I want you to do? I want you to hire the right guy to make the decisions for the team. I want you to hire the right guy to be in place for you to, and then don't touch nothing. I don't want you to be AK. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to be AK. I want you to be the dude that I put this guy in place. I built this football staff, and they have done their jobs well. You can have input on it, absolutely. You want to have input in that draft room? Fine. Final say has to be on the GM because that's how big teams do it. You have your president, but then you have your GM. Yes, they work together, but the GM's the one that's making the say. The GM's making the call on personnel decisions. The GM's making the call on who the next head coach is going to be. And I'll say this, if there's any saving grace at all in this organization, if you hire the right GM, you might be able to be in the running for a lot of those head coaches that we talked about, or the bigger name head coaches out here, because they're going to be working more closely and you're going to be overseeing everything that you've built. So,
and the question is, did you trust him to get that job done? Here's the question.
I don't know. Listen, I can't trust him to get the right head coach, and I can't trust him to fire the right guy.
Hey.
That's the scary part. Like, listen, we all agree Nagy's the wrong hire, right? Everybody in this chat right now 110% agrees Nagy's the wrong hire. And maybe he did more harm to Mitch's career than Mitch's career would have done. I still think Mitch would have been a backup no matter what he did, but maybe Nagy did more harm to his career. When you see that, and this is the dude you picked number 2, you have to look at that guy and be like, I've watched 2.5 years of this, and my quarterback that I picked second overall has gotten worse. In the words of P. Kid, get him out of here. I can't trust him to make that decision. And that's the part that scares me.
Well, I'll tell you what, if he stays and Nagy's out of there, obviously that's a situation in which ownership trusts him to make that decision to move forward. Yeah. So looking at this, we got our second number 1 draft pick, first round draft pick rather, at a QB position, And we saw how that looked like. I don't care what nobody says. Justin didn't look much better than Mitch this first season at all. Whether you blame Justin or not, he had a horrible first season. Go look at the numbers. It's atrocious. But we all attribute that to what? Lack of development and coaching. So at this point, it's like, hey, you know what? You're not the guy. You're not getting it
mostly
done.
lack of O-line for me. Listen, 31 sacks, dog. Hey. Jesus Christ.
Hey, listen, that's true. I give you that. But Joe Burrow just absolutely is still number one sacked QB in the league right now.
Still making plays, yeah, absolutely.
He's still making plays and stuff like that. Plays. So I mean, at one point there's a case to be had and stuff like that. But if you look at the list of most sacked QBs, all of them absolutely still got the job done in so many ways. Long story short, though, just put it to you this way, and I think the comment is there. Jay Cribb mentioned it. You fire Pace. Do you trust George to hire the right guys?
No. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't like how they're going about it already, right? So if they're not firing Pace, or if they are firing Pace, you're willing to pay Tony Dungy and Bill Polian to come in here and help you find the next guy. The story dropped this week. Olin Kreutz told the story on 670 The Score. They offered him a $15 an hour position after he not only fought for you on the field, blood, sweat, and tears for this team. Helped you get, let's not joke about it, helped you get to a Super Bowl. Was the only piece on that team that was willing to stand up for your quarterback. You offered him a $15 an hour job. But you're willing to go outside of the organization, pay Tony Dungy a bag, pay Bill Polian a bag to help you find your next guy, because maybe they trust Ryan to make this decision. But if you do trust Ryan to make this decision, why are you bringing two dudes that have never even worn Bears colors in their life into the building? So I still, like you said, do you trust George to make? No. But I also don't trust George to not have his hand in the cookie jar with what's happening right now, with the way that this is going right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to be real with you. George and Virginia, like, it's like you said, I don't remember one of these weeks that we've done this and we've been ranting and raving on here for an entire season. Thank God it's over. We could focus just in on the Bulls. You said that it took a lot to start it up, but at a certain point, a football team runs itself. You make your money running itself. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you. They are billionaires, but I don't think, we talk about a mom and pop shop. I don't think the McCaskies could run a mom and pop shop, because you know what? You got to be able to handle the money at a mom and pop shop. I really don't. The football team runs itself. That's why they'll never sell it. That's why when Muzz come in here and say it's never going to be. But they're not good business people. They're not good. But they let Ted Phillips rebuild a stadium in a city because we can't leave Chicago. We're the Chicago Bears. But now you can't get a Super Bowl because your stadium's open. That's just dumb. That's poor business. You know what brings more money to your team? Having a Super Bowl come here. So I'm actually push back just a little bit. This is the one thing about the organization that, I always go through these deep dives to find out, like, why are they as successful as they are despite the fact that it's turned out this way? Yeah.
And when you find out that, you know what, it's a historical landmark, what Soldier Field means to the city, the fact that we never owned it, the fact that we was always a lease.
Yeah.
How do we make it more modern without doing a totally rebuild? Like, we couldn't have put a dome on that thing. Like, we literally could not have put a dome on it.
No, not on that stadium.
You know what I'm saying? We couldn't have built another stadium either.
But here, you can't build a stadium inside Chicago limits. But they were so tied to it's the things you said. It's a historical landmark. It can never be torn down. Guess what? When the Bears moved to Arlington, 110%, Soldier Field will still get used.
Oh, absolutely.
You might still see the Bears come back and play football games there when the field is nice. You don't lose anything. Chicago's not losing Soldier Field. Chicago's not losing the Chicago Bears. The only thing they're losing is the traffic sucking to try and get to that monster.
It's contractual. They actually do lose some money, but in terms of what they
Bears will, the Bears will
the
lose.
Bears do. The Bears lose considerable amount of money when it comes to that, and then
because they're gonna have to pay to break it.
Yeah, and in the course of the loans that they can get and stuff like that, and this is going too far into the weeds. But just do some actual research on, like, realistically, there's a rhyme and reason as to why they stayed where they were. So I can't, in good faith, sit there knowing what I know now and kill them the same way I used to. I kind of just think that'd be like poor journalism, whatever you want to call it. Whatever. What are we? What do we do here? What do we do?
We just two intelligent gentlemen to get on the camera and look good while we do it.
Okay, there you go.
Hey, listen, because I ain't journaled nothing. I'm not typing nothing out. Muzz was like, we would love for you to. Hey, you know how many times I've turned down Muzz? Like, we'd love for you to write a column. Absolutely not. I didn't write paragraphs when I was in high school, dog. Come on now.
Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. You absolutely should write the column.
Hey,
it's gonna absolutely help. We'll talk about that offline.
That's
anyway,
okay. Hey, look. No, they want me to do it. They want me to do it for free. I'm not doing it for free.
We'll talk about that offline. But what I will say is this: when you really look at it, yeah, they probably could run a mom and pop shop, because you know what they're really good at? Getting butts in the seats.
No,
for whatever reason
that's us. That's us being. Listen, let's be 100% honest here. Other than you, everybody in this chat is a masochist. We have to be. We come back for the pain every single year.
Yeah, I don't
every
get that.
Single week. Guess what we're gonna be talking
about? I've ever met in my life.
Hey, listen. Guess what we're gonna be talking about this offseason? Can they do it? Can they build a team? Can they go from worst to first? Can they? This is what we do. We are gluttons for pain. This is what we do. Listen, when the Bulls sucked, guess who still sold out every single night? The Bulls. They were a top sales team. Jay Chris said he's been at it for 50 years. He loves the pain, man. Tie yourself into some straps. Let somebody start cranking away on the board. You do what you got to do. Whips and chains, whatever it takes, man.
You went. Hey, listen. You went deep into that one. Hey, listen. Are you okay, my boy?
Hey, no, I'm not. I'm not. Hey, listen. At this point, I can't even feel it anymore.
Good Lord. Good Lord. Hey, listen. No, I've never been that tied to a team. I can't do it. Honestly, I just can't do it. I really can't. I'm sorry to say it. That doesn't make me not a real fan. It just means that I'm not going to sit there and ride for a team that's not putting a good product on the floor as long as they've been doing it. I can't do it. I would have been sitting here on the fire Nagy, fire Pace, fire George, fire Virginia, fire the whole thing. I've been on there for 20 whole years had I been rocking as long as Pat has been doing. It wouldn't have been a good show for me. I'm gonna be honest with you. It wouldn't have been a good show with me on there. I'm telling you the truth right now. I'd have been on here saying fire everybody every 5 seconds. You'd be like, is that all he gonna say? Yep. P-kid emoji. I don't care. Like, I really don't. That was gonna be my whole thing. I was gonna have the worst takes. Yeah, I had the worst takes ever. I'm gonna be the Nick Wright with common sense to actually say fire somebody. Yeah, Nick Wright with common sense. I still got smoke with him every single time.
Every time. And I'm adding Kwame Brown to the list on that as well. Nick Wright, Kwame Brown. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I've actually sat down and listened to Perkins. I had to take Perk off the list. Perk say some stuff that makes it. Perk say some bad stuff too. But Perk say some stuff that makes sense. I'll give him that. You know what? Perk is not like everybody used to talk about Perk like he had. Like, this the thing, right? Perk is interesting because, like, what's my man's name? Paul Pierce used to just go against LeBron because he was still trying to compete. He would say LeBron's not in his top 5. LeBron's not that dude. LeBron hasn't got it done. And it was just like, Paul, you seem kind of salty, dog. You seem like Bron dunked on you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Bron dunked on him.
Perk is giving you 110% his opinion. And it may not always be the right opinion, but at a minimum, he will at least give you basketball reasons to why he feels this way. Paul Pierce was just like, I got smoke with this player, or I don't like Draymond Green. And we know it's because you ain't Kobe. They don't love you like that. That's all it was because.
That's the most savage line I've ever heard in my life.
One of the hardest bars ever, dog.
Trying to get that farewell tour. They don't love you like that.
Dang. That's not a bad take. Perkins Barkley 2.0, that's not a bad take. It's not a bad take. Like Chuck
Chuck ain't bad. He just
Chuck
he
ain't bad, but Chuck
yeah.
definitely say some things that you be looking at like, man, Chuck, I don't know, man. That really don't work outside of 1986.
Hey, Chuck comes with you with real talk. He gives you that level of common sense that
Yeah.
is missing in today's game. And so I can see why he's going to retire soon, because he can't be him. Chuck really can't be him and say what he wants to say. He can't say the same things now that he was saying on his same show and platform 5 years ago. Definitely not 10 years ago. Heck, the jokes that they told on that show 10 years ago were totally different.
Listen,
totally
dog.
different.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Just hearing jokes from 10 years ago is wild, dog. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's a lot of like old shows I go back and watch, and I just be like, ooh, that's bad. Ooh, you can't say that today. Like you gotta relax there, Chuck.
No, I don't say it's bad. I just think it's funny. And I was like, oh, okay, we've gotten more sensitive, which I guess is cool, but we've gotten overly sensitive to some things too. So yeah. Hey, listen, now I'm not the person for that conversation. I'm probably never going to be that guy who's politically correct, just because some things I think are just overly political. So,
yeah. So I'm a pipe in.
I'm gonna get us canceled.
That's okay. I'm gonna pipe in what may be Nagy's last press conference ever as a Bears head coach. Let's react to what Matt has to say here.
No injuries for our team, so that's a good thing coming out of that game. Big picture, just from the game, we weren't able to get going in that big red zone from that plus 35 to the plus 25. You felt it. I felt like we controlled the game for the first half, and we got down there to that 4th and goal when we got the touchdown call back by Andy, and weren't able to get that play. We took some sacks on 4th down.
Because you didn't run it, dumb.
When you have 80 plays like we were moving the football, doing different things, similar to the first time that we played these guys. We just weren't as productive. They have a good 3rd down defense.
Oh, do they?
I think when you look at the numbers, 20 something attempts on 3rd and 4th down, 1 for 6 on 4th down. You felt that. And that's a credit to them. They did a great job there. So we just didn't come out in the second half and finish them. And you got to give credit to them. The game kind of got away a little bit there towards the end, unfortunately, with the pick 6. So we were, that's where we're at right now, and was able to talk to the guys and
Jay Crit on point with
and just explain to them, hey, listen, this has been a long season, but at the same point in time, the thing that we all need to use these life experiences to make ourselves better, and how that is, and how you handle yourself. You look back and you say,
go ahead, say it for me one time. Say it for me one time.
Did I stay the same? How do I, what did I change? And then how do I make myself better moving forward? It's important.
I feel it.
These guys care in there. They care in that locker room. We care as coaches. And so, as I say every year to the team, the last 3 years and now this year, every NFL team is different heading into the next year. And whether it's players, whether it's coaches. And so individually reflect, see where we can get better. This isn't where we wanted to be or how we wanted to do it. But use it to get better. So that was kind of our message.
It's coming. I promise you it's coming.
Oh, there's a Y coming.
Yeah.
You know it. Come on.
Sure. Well, there's a lot of realism to everything. When you're in this position and you're a leader of a team,
that they have no mic
you go through and you try to create and build a culture like we have here. You want to be able to get better. You want to be able to go through the highs and lows throughout the year. And we know how the season went this year. We know how it went towards the end of the year, and then of course today's game. But right now, it's not really. I'll have time here when the season ends to be able to reflect, as always. And these guys, I think the big picture is understanding that it hasn't been what we wanted, but again, trying to always keep this mentality of how do you use this to make yourself better, and even myself as a head coach, how do I make myself better, and then the players do that, and we know that we got to use that to get better down the road.
What have you learned, I guess, this season?
Yeah.
I hate that they got no mic for the questions, dog. Like, I don't know what the heck they're asking them.
No, I think probably for me as a head coach, when you go through this season, you understand that the other 31 coaches are going through the COVID protocol stuff that we have. You understand you have different positions that when you're competing and you're getting young guys to come in and compete, you have a coaching staff that you're dealing with. And for me, probably the biggest thing is
Very
just
well
making
spoken.
sure
Give him
that
that.
I think that
He's great.
it's
man.
not what we
Word salad,
wanted,
bro.
and how did we react to that as the weeks went by. When you go through a losing streak like we did, that can be difficult. That's
2 years in a row.
challenging. And
3.
did you change, and how did you use it to get better, and did you fight through it? And we did that, but at the same point in time, you always look back and you say, okay, what's your record, and did you win enough, and did you get into playoffs to have an opportunity? Because once you get into playoffs, it's 0-0, and we didn't do that. So I think right now at this moment, I don't have a great answer other than being able to reflect at the end of the year when I think about it a little longer.
Matt, if this is the end for you, how do you feel about your time?
I again, my 4 years that I'm here, I look at a few things. You look at developing players,
Which you did not do.
specifically
Haven't
at their
done that.
positions, guys that you're part of in the draft process
Name one.
with Ryan and all of our
Monty.
personnel and our coaching and all the
Give
time
him
that goes
Monty.
into that, and then you look into each specific
said name
season,
one.
and we had
That he
a
developed.
really good first year together at 12-4, and now we continue to grow here. As you build through the draft, you have young guys that are getting better and better each year, and they're improving. We have some older guys too on this roster that have been a part of this, and just kind of seeing how that rolls. But I'm just proud of these players. I really am. I'm proud of the coaches. I think that I know how much they care, and I know how much they want to be better. And to me, that matters. Now, again, we understand our record. We know that that's real. That's a part of it.
There it is.
Here we go. Give it to
Do
me.
the guys care, and do they fight?
One more time.
We know that that's real.
Work here, is that something that you will need to dig into in the offseason to be able to answer for when you have?
Who's gonna ask?
Well,
the hard question,
there's a lot that goes into that question. There's so
This is
much
why I need a
when you
press
look
pass.
at different teams and where they're at, and whether it's different positions, how they work together in all three phases. Whatever that is, and
Who's
how
gonna ask
it's a
the blunt
team
question?
game.
Hey,
So we
what do
know
you
we
think?
want to
You
be
getting
better
outta here, or what's
offensively. We
going on
know it hasn't been what we wanted it to be, but that's what you need to do as a coach, is try to find answers, and you get together with personnel and you figure out where you're weak at position wise, and then schematically, that's probably what part of the question too is. Okay, I would say stating the obvious that we need to be better in the red zone, right? I
But
don't
what
think we were good
schematics
enough
did
this
you
year in
come
the
up
red
with?
zone. So
What scheme
being
did you
better
come
there,
up with?
and whether that's
Hey,
players,
Matt,
whether it's
we're
scheme,
getting
whatever
into
it
the
is, you
weeds
got
here,
to
but
score
you're
more
talking
points
in a
when you get
circle.
down in the red zone.
What that
Hey, kid, he got the blueprints, but it's to the wrong building.
dog?
Yeah, again, I've never been in this position before, and for me, it's
Drop them. Get them out of
continue
here
to-
in the chat,
to,
man. Drop them. Get them
you
out
know,
of here
just
in the chat.
go about business like normal, and I mean that. I've had
Yeah,
conversations
yeah,
as
so,
nothing
yeah,
has
he's
changed,
definitely
as I've
gone
told
then
you
at this
guys a
point.
few days ago, and I know this. Whatever is supposed to happen will happen, and I'm a positive person, and again,
Whatever's supposed to happen will
I
happen.
think
Oh,
that
perfect.
it's about
outta
these
here.
players right now, and these players have fought their asses off to play hard. They sacrifice their body every day, and everything else will take care of itself how it's supposed to.
He's still denying the fact that he was told he's about to get released, though.
Hey, that's real.
No, it's
Man, that was a long question.
it's probably for people that are outside the building. You guys,
Here
everybody
we go.
has
Take a shot to that.
a job that they need to do to create stories and to have things to write about, both in a good way and sometimes negatively.
A lot of times negatively.
That's a
messing
part
around
of
with
where we're at right now. But that's not leaving, and that's not changing. It's about how you handle it, And so there's true reports, there's false reports, and again, you need to be able to create a wall. And I think that's part of the strength of the character of your building.
I swear to you, I would love to have him as a neighbor.
We went through that on Thanksgiving.
Matt
and,
Nagy's a great neighbor, bro.
That's an experience for me that I'll always be able to
bet you
use
he
and
plows
understand
your
that
yard for you.
when you see guys that pull together and
This
play
dude has
together,
the
when you go through
most
something like
excellent
that,
media
it
training
actually
I've
brings
ever
you closer.
seen.
Oh my God,
And
he's
that's
He could be a
really what
politician
happened with
for
these
real.
guys. So they're all distractions.
Dog,
We
got
always
about
talk
as much
about
done.
he
eliminate
needs to run for
distractions.
mayor. He might as
And I
well.
think the players
got
have
about
done a
as
great
much
job with
done
that.
as
It's
one.
not easy,
Nice.
but they've done a great job.
Can't tell me Larry got it done.
You acknowledge the opportunity you had to be the coach of the Bears
call her Lowry?
Yeah, I called her Lowry because Lori ain't working right. The mayor ain't mayoring.
But Nagy is going Nagy.
And Nagy's nagging.
Yeah, no, you look at the big picture of where we're at, and you know, there's different seasons, there's different records, and you build these relationships.
Not a bad take. I wouldn't mind seeing him on TV.
After every year, you can reflect and look into the reasons as to
That's what all the failed
why you got to where you got to and how you get better, and then you do that from a head coach's perspective, you do it from a teaching perspective, you do it from schematics perspective, and
they do it once a week.
But again, you know, when I'm the position that I'm in right now, I just feel like it's my job as a leader to make sure that I continue to stay positive with these guys, and whatever has happened in my 4 years here, good and bad, there's a reason for all of it, and even selfishly and individually for me, there's a reason why this is happening right now. And when this stuff happens, it again, like I told the guys in there, let this stuff right here refine you, not define you. That's important, right? And so I'm sure you guys have bad days every now and then too, right? You have a bad day. How do you react?
I don't have
you stay negative
3
and stay in a bad mood for 2 weeks, or do you get out of it?
Dog.
And so in this profession as a leader, you got to make sure you stay positive. You got to make sure you lead, and then you got to use it to make yourself better. And regardless of what happens, whether it's with another player or myself, I promise you I'm going to do that, and I will let this refine me and not define me.
You sound like a guy that's pretty much comfortable no matter what happens. You kind of accept it.
Well, it's not that. It's the fact that, again, when you're the day that I signed up to be the head coach here in Chicago, right? On a year-to-year basis, you're always understanding that what comes with your position, right? That's real. That's life. And so the situation that we're in this year is one where we know our record's not good enough. We all want to be better. We know that.
Hey, we need to
so
be
this is
taking
all stuff
shots
that
on
comes
that's
attached
real.
to it. So
Oh, don't worry, I'm ahead of
you.
you.
Can't run from it. You got to be real. You got to
We
talk
gotta be
about it.
taking
You got to
shots on
understand
that's
it.
real, dog.
And then you got to be able to have a plan, understanding individually, but also as a leader and a team leader with these guys, because these guys deserve that. You know, we got great players, man. We got great people. We got great coaches, and I just respect all them too much. And so sometimes I'm very honest, and I just I talk about that stuff, you know, and I always try to hit every avenue.
We've heard 2 words from you in terms of your partnership with Ryan. It's been collaboration and conviction, right? And assuming that's completely true,
sure.
Collaborating, you guys have had conviction on all the decisions,
Yep.
draft picks, create.
That's really Moji probably does need to happen though. That's the one we didn't think about.
So we got.
I don't see it that way as what's gone wrong. I actually look at it the other way. I think when you look at what's gone right with the players that we have in this building right now, and since we've been together,
You started
I think we all understand that this isn't something that just happens in 1 or 2 years.
Dog, you almost got Justin decapitated his first game.
That player going, and then when you draft a lot of players together, it takes several years. And now all of a sudden, you get to the point to where they're rocking and rolling because they're now 3 or 4 years into it, and that's where we're at right now. That's what's exciting.
Said these are not
knowing that there's a nice group of young leaders on this team right now that are good football players. And so that's probably what you say about the collaboration and communication that we have is that has not changed with Ryan and myself from the very first day. And it hasn't changed us as people. When sometimes adversity can strike, people start acting different. Ryan's not different. I'm not different. Too much respect. You know, you do things the right way. And I'm proud of the way we've handled all of this together. And
listen,
the players
shout out to
that
you. I
we've
can't say that.
talked about, selected, our personnel department, our coaching staff, all of it. There's a good thing going here right now. And there's a really good franchise quarterback that's here. That's going to be good for a long time.
First start? No, he got sacked 8 times.
Both Ryan and I were part of that.
9. Yeah.
His first official start.
First official start. Oh, someone set a record.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett set a record.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't think he was gonna be up here this long. Credit to him.
Hey, you know what? That's called staying in the pocket and being consistent.
You know what I'm saying?
No, there's a really bright future for our team.
He was gonna
be
up
I think
here
that when you look at, again, you start getting these young guys. You look at Roquan Smith,
man. Where else you
right?
Get this random
he is only getting better and
Nagy
better. And again,
We
for
should have
me,
done this every
selfishly,
week. At least it would
with
have been more
Ryan,
entertaining
that
than
was
just talking about
a
the
first
Bears.
draft pick of mine that I've ever been a part of, where it's you're there with Ryan doing it. And so I'm proud to see him grow. And then you look at a guy like David Montgomery and how he's grown. You look at a guy like, and I'm talking offensively now with Darnell Mooney and Cole Kmet, and now you got these young tackles, and there's a really good youthfulness to the offense.
Darnell
and I
looked
think
like a
that
number
there's
one
still
today.
some time. You got Justin.
Because he is
you got
a
other
number
pieces. You look at defense
and
just the way that
I'm gonna keep tally on all my takes
with some of
y'all
these
be
younger
coming at
guys
me
with the
some
Bilal
smoke.
Nichols, for
Then y'all
example,
don't want to give me
right?
my
That doesn't
props
get
when
a
I'm
lot
right.
of
Y'all gonna
name
start giving me my
recognition.
props when I'm
With
right.
Gibson growing,
On
what
God.
he's doing,
Nah,
with
you know what
Jalen
I'm gonna start
Johnson.
doing? I'm gonna start writing down. I'm gonna
And
do
so,
you like Chuck.
you
I'm gonna
look
write
at
down
this
all
with
your
Eddie
takes, and I'm
Jackson
gonna put it on a
being in
board
the
on the
middle
wall.
of his
And
career
whenever
right
you get
now and
one right, I'm gonna
understanding
put
how
it
he
on
can
one
continue
side.
to improve.
But I'm gonna start writing them
There's
down because you seem
there's
to
a lot of good
magically
stuff.
forget a lot of the
And
takes
I
you've
like
had
that
wrong.
about these guys.
Let's
And
do
I'm
it.
not
The other
going
part of this,
back to
Brad,
look at
is
all
that
Let's
that.
do it. From this on
is
out,
that
we're gonna
these
that's what we're
players,
gonna do. Guess what? I moved the
they're
desk so I
they're
can have
finally
good lighting
learning how
because
to
I
be
didn't set
good
it up
football
yet.
players.
And a wall right here to
But
write
what's going to
on.
take
There
us
you
over
go.
the top is having them learn how to be great leaders.
Guarantee.
Because championship Super Bowl football teams have great leaders that are great football players. Because when you hit a little bit of a snag and you lose a few, the players are the ones that get you through that. Because they're great leaders, they're high character people that are great football players. And the more of those that you have, you'll win a lot of games, and then you have an opportunity to get in the dance to win the whole thing. That's what this team has right now. It's there.
As he's coming off, like he gets
And that's what I'm selfishly proud of with Ryan.
Tomorrow,
of what's here.
Oh, you think tomorrow?
And,
tomorrow.
And then again, the excitement of Justin at quarterback, because Justin's going to have a very bright future.
Holding their head in their hands saying,
thank you. Yep. No problem. Thank you.
That's it. All right. Woo! All right. So he's off the stage now. We were a little bit behind. So it was about probably a minute behind where it actually ended. Okay. Now everybody check your phones.
Dog, I'm on Twitter.
I mean, listen.
Now.
I'll say this, y'all. I will say this. I give them credit for standing up there and taking the shots. I give them credit for standing up there and still being the head. Good job. Like I said, I would love to have Nagy as my neighbor. But my God, let's be real on this. Is it he walks out of the stadium and they change the passcode right away, like, hey, get down there, Nagy's gone. And he comes back tomorrow and goes to open the door and it just don't work no more? Mike Davidson said Monty's waiting by the door with the pink slip. Bro, he should be. How they did Monty today was disrespectful. Oh, man.
It ain't happened yet. It ain't happened yet.
I do got to pull this up, though. We got to pay some bills real quick, man. Listen, kid, after hearing them talk, what are your thoughts, man? Here's the scary part. Is there any world where he somehow keeps his job? Is there any world
why you put me on Front Street? Don't play me like that, dog.
I just want you to hey, listen, I just want you to create banter while I pull up this website.
I mean, you do what you got to do, but good lord, what kind of setup was that? That wasn't even an alley-oop. That was a, hey, I hate your life. Let me give you something to struggle with. Like I know you don't have an objective answer to this one, so go ahead and be as biased as you want to be. Like, nah. Like, well, maybe that's what you wanted me to do. So maybe that is a good alley-oop. So guess what? No, I don't. I tell you what, if Matt Nagy is the coach of the Bears next year, I'm not calling a Bears game. I'm just going to leave you high and dry. I'm going to AB you. I'm going to sit there and take the jersey off on cam. I'm going to throw it. No, dog, I can't do it. I can't
on camera.
On camera. I'm going to sit there and say, hey, Matt Nagy stayed. To me, that's like Pat saying you're done. So guess what? Through my jersey.
Then I hit you with a throat slash as well.
Hey man, I'm gonna sit there, take my phone. I'm gonna hit the link. I'm gonna show people getting in my car, going to the liquor store. Like, I'm gonna do all of that because guess what? I'm done. I'm out of it.
Hey y'all, we want to tell y'all about a sponsor that we've had all season called Symbol, man. Symbol is the Oh, you got to be able to read to do this. Symbol is a stock market for sports that allows you to profit from sports knowledge. On Symbol, you can trade sports teams like stocks, and every time your team wins, you earn cash. Use your sports knowledge on Symbol to buy low and sell high and earn cash payouts with your team win. Join the 7,000 plus early adopters who have started to invest in their favorite teams. Visit symbol.com to create a free account. And when you deposit, make sure you use the promo code BREEZE to make your deposit risk free. And listen, this is the time. I'm gonna be honest with you, right? Because if Matt Nagy does get fired, this stock's gonna go up because a lot of people believe in Justin Fields. A lot of people believe in what the Bears actually can do together. So right now we've seen steadily throughout the season, this thing has gone plummet. It's down to now 40.03. I'm telling you now, if you get in, click the link in the description below. It'll take you right there. You can sign up under our name. If you get in now, and I've actually lost money on this stock here. This is a long-term play for me. This stock will absolutely be going in the right direction the day they announce the hire at head coach, unless it's like one of the worst announcements ever. You know what I'm saying? But it like, you know, we're gonna go get we're gonna bring back Lovie Smith for head coach. Like, it might not move the needle right there. That might be a wait and see. But if they do go get Jim Harbaugh, if you start to see, because this is the thing, right? People buy into these stocks as it as the news comes in. So what you might see is Bears go get Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh brings in Vic Fangio. Somehow Jim Harbaugh gets Greg Roman away from his brother. Hey, bro, let me borrow Greg for a couple of years, man. I'm trying to build this thing up here in Chicago. Somehow he goes and gets that. You're going to see this stock start climbing up because people are going to believe in what Jim is able to do. So get in with it now.
If you
and I'll show you
make some money.
But I'll show you a good stock, dog. I you know what I'm saying? Like, I always show the Bears one because we're doing the Bears here. But let me show you what this Bulls one is doing right here. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that profit. Yeah, profit. I got in right here. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I probably got in. Where'd I get in? Probably over here. Because I believe this one they hit us $35. Yeah, you know I'm saying. Dropped a little bit when they went through their little losing streak. People were like, oh my God, we lost to Indiana. We lost to Houston. And you see that much come right back up. Stop playing with it,
man. So Symbol, getting in right now on the Bulls is what you need to do. You have to actually take real life situations. You know, it's just like any other stock that you would see for a major organization, right? If you see that Tesla stock is down, but you know ultimately that, hey, one good tweet, Elon has that company going gangbusters, and guess what? You get in on it, right? Because you know they have a good product, stuff like that. Despite what we say about the Bears, it's still one of the major market, and we don't need much. We don't need much here. We really don't. You know what we need? We need a competent QB, a decent O-line, and somebody that can catch. If we lose in good fashion, the Chicago fan base is happy. This is the weirdest fan base in the world because I don't like losing. But if we lose in good fashion, we will sit there and rally behind it. And so now this is the lowest it's been in a decade for Bears fans.
Yeah.
It can't go nowhere but up.
Well,
it can't get no worse.
Here's the question, right? If let's be honest, say we went through this season and the Bears lose. Bears are struggling. You might still move on from that. But they struggle because they've started their rookie quarterback and he's going through normal rookie quarterback things. You see that the kid can play. You see that he's moving in the right direction. There's a lot of things that go into look like Justin Herbert first season. We watched Justin Herbert, and even though Buddy got fired because of his clock management. I don't even remember Buddy's name. He got fired because of his clock management because that man was worse than Matt Nagy with clock management. But you can see in Justin Herbert's rookie season, hey, this kid can play. Hey, this football team is not as bad as we think it is. We just don't have a competent head coach. In that situation, yeah, we'd be all right with losing. I would have been all right.
I don't know if I would have compared Justin Herbert's rookie season to anybody's, but I got you though. I got you.
No, I'm just saying if you see some rookie mistakes there, but you feel like you've got the pieces in place. Like if the Bears went 6-11, but Justin Fields had a great rookie season, you know what I'm saying? We're sitting there like maybe you do. Like the conversation at the end of the year isn't everybody's in agreement to get Nagy the heck out of here. The conversation at the end of the year is, well, he did some good things with him. Kid's just young, got to work in Darnell. A-Rob didn't really do what we thought he would do. You know what I'm saying? It's a very different conversation than, hey, man, we went 6 for 11. Anthony Lynn, absolutely. My God, he was terrible with the clock. My God, he was terrible with the clock. And I wanted Buddy to win too, but man, it's awful. But competent versus what we saw this season is two completely different words.
I would say this: we have to be patient all the way around. Like the season's over at this point. You probably only get a few more of Bears topics unless it's just breaking news before we actually get something of substance on the channel in regards to that, unless it's an injury in the offseason or something like that, or a trade. But let's be real, Justin Fields didn't get a good chance to develop.
Yeah.
This wasn't a good chance to develop. You may really see all the rookie mistakes that we were bound to see in his sophomore season. Because if he starts throughout the whole season, hey, listen, we're going to see a lot more holding the ball too long and stuff like that. Now, it's good that he did get some starting experience for us to identify it. But I'm now worried that as we move on and move forward, that the fan base isn't going to be patient with the fact that you have a rookie QB and you're going to compare him to people that you shouldn't be comparing him to.
Yeah.
Who are in totally different situations. Like, this could be a 2-3 year process from this point.
No, I agree.
This point is a 2-3 year process. So what are you going to do if next year, like, we got the running game, he has a little protection, but we still see, hey, he's throwing it short or he's overthrowing. Timing is a little off. Like all of that is there. Like,
now,
he has to hold a news.
I was going to say that's three different things, right? If you're throwing it short, if you're throwing it, or you're overthrowing guys, or you're holding the ball too long. To me, well, maybe not holding the ball too long, but at least throwing it short and stuff like that. That's stuff on Justin. That means that his development isn't there with his receivers. As far as timing, he's going to have to learn a completely new system. No matter what, like Bill Lazor is not going to be in here. No coach is going to come in here and run the same system that Nagy did. You're going to be in a completely different situation with Justin. Justin is essentially a rookie again next year. Now, like I said, throwing it short, things like that, those are things I'm looking at and I'm saying, okay, you guys need to work that out in practice. Like, at a minimum, if I see you're going this direction and I know what route you're running, he has to be able to get the ball to you, or the wide receiver has to be able to understand this is the limit of Justin's arm talent. I need to come back a little, or something like that. That's on the players.
So write it down on the board.
You said what?
Write it down on the board. I have to interrupt you. Write it down on the board. Get your board ready, because I'm telling you right now, I don't think his next season is going to be all that great. Just because of all the new stuff is. I'm not saying he's going to be a bad QB. Like, I want to be clear. He's in a very tough situation. And we didn't do him any favors as an organization. So at that point, he's probably one of the most talented in the draft, but he was put in a worse situation, which means it's going to take him longer to realize the success that we wanted him to realize, or that he may want to realize for a variety of reasons.
I'd say it is. He's not going to have the season we think he's going to have if Tevin's not good next year.
He's in an impossible situation.
If Tevin Jenkins isn't good next year, he's going to be in trouble because, again, you don't have a left tackle. Now, can he adjust to it? Can it come to that where he starts to realize, okay, I have to always be watching on my left side because they're gonna come through and try to light me up from that side because I got a left tackle with a bad back that can't stay out there. And I'm hoping that's not Tevin Jenkins, but right now that's what it looked like. And we saw Nagy kind of keep him out in this last game. But there's gonna be absolutely a learning curve coming into next season because, listen, you didn't start your coaching search 2 weeks ago. Like, if you were going to go get Jim Harbaugh, you could have fired Matt Nagy. You know why? Because you could have been talking to Jim Harbaugh for half the season at this point.
Jim Harbaugh or John?
John is in Baltimore. Jim is at Michigan.
So they could have been start talking to Jim.
Could have been start talking to Jim.
They didn't have to fire Nagy to talk to Jim because Jim was not an NFL coach. To talk to an NFL coach, to talk to John, they would have to fire Matt Nagy. Yeah. So they could have been already done that. Like, that could have already been in a bag low key, and we never know. And if that's how they move, hey, listen, shout out to y'all for pulling off an AK move because we didn't know, right? Supposedly, right? But what I will say is this.
We kind of knew Matt been getting fired for 6 weeks now, which is the funniest thing in the world to me. Since Thanksgiving, this man, Matt Nagy will be fired after this game. Since that week, every single week, Matt Nagy will be fired after this game. Man, I think he gonna make it.
we got two things to also consider. That QB room is gonna be totally different next year, and depending on who they bring in and how aggressive they get, we got to get another QB because Dalton's gone, and it looks like that Foles has the option to go. They could just take the hit on the cap, or $7 million on the dead cap on him, and they just go. Depending on how aggressive they get, you could have a veteran QB who's still vying for a starting spot because those QBs are out there, and we need to have someone here. The QB competition could be up and running for next year, and all of a sudden everyone's like, "Oh, I don't like this person." Then all of a sudden we end up with Jimmy G, and it's like, who do you start? We could be in a San Francisco.
Wild scenario.
Don't say Biscuits come back. I knew you was gonna say it
because Nagy's gone. Nagy's gone. Mitch is Ryan's guy. Wild scenario, dog. You see Biscuits walk back in, Bears jersey on. What's good? Y'all thought y'all was done with me? I'm back, baby.
Biscuits walks back in here. Not only am I gonna have the most fun this season, just laughing at the QB.
Oh my God, I'm gonna be dying.
I'm gonna be dying, dog. But no, in all actuality, dang, that's a real possibility, though.
It's a real possibility because listen, here's the difference, right? Justin's going to be the starter. He's gonna be the starter, but maybe Biscuits can't go out there and get him a what's it called? A starting job. You know what I'm saying? Because Trevor looked good today versus the Colts, dominated them, which is not surprising. The Colts haven't won there since 2014. You know what I'm saying? Miami, maybe he can compete with Tua, but Tua been slanging that thing a little bit too. You know what I mean? Like, hey, maybe it's just easy. I'll come back in there. Hey. At a minimum, his teammates like him. Mooney like him. The linemen like him. Listen.
Dog, no. No. I honestly thought about Jimmy G.
For backup?
The way he gets killed.
He's gonna get a starting job.
This reason right here, that's why we're gonna stop the chat overlay right there. We're gonna stop the chat overlay for that reason right there.
Because we had a video actually get flagged for that popping up, and we know y'all love the chat overlay. We love having it where we can see y'all comments and stuff like that. But we kind of was trying to see if we could let it ride. We had a video get flagged because of them mugs popping in. So we know y'all can still see it on the side, but we might have to keep it off of the video for the foreseeable future. Unfortunately.
That's crazy.
It is. It kind of pisses me off because I love having the fans on the screen because it adds to the show.
That's ridiculous. That's a good thought, though. That's a good thought. Hey, listen, I would be in for it because I want to see the competition. I want to see the comp.
Yeah, man. Listen, I would, and here's the funny thing, right?
Absolutely.
If Biscuits comes in as the backup, I don't care about that. I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that 100%. Because you know what?
If he earns a starting spot, what you gonna say?
Let's be real. He's the best backup in the NFL right now.
Nah, Huntley. The kid in Baltimore.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
No.
Top five backup in the NFL.
Top 5, I give you that.
Top 5 backup in the NFL right now.
But that kid in Baltimore got it. I don't know whose starting lineup he gonna be in, but if he don't get a starting job next season, he's just wasting his talents because he looked like. Throwing wise, his mechanics, he looked better than Lamar for me. He's not as explosive as a player. He's not as explosive as a on the run and stuff like that. But just throwing, nah. Huntley got it.
That would be the most wild scenario to ever play out I'd ever see, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Biscuits come back in. He rides in on a horse from Buffalo. Like. Oh man, that'd be great. That'd be hilarious, dog. I would laugh at this point, dog. I would laugh just because that's all I could do with the Bears, bro. When I saw Matt Nagy go for it on 4th and 1, and he had Andy Dalton back in the shotgun, and Monty was not on the field, I started crying, laughing, and then they threw a pick. Like, it's so Bears. It's so Bears.
So he didn't have Monty on the field. Herbert's not available. Nobody
Herbert played. Herbert was on the field, but
it was a pass play.
It was a pass play on 4th and 1 to try and get the first down. 3 times. Yep.
I always try, like, seriously. I want this to be known. I really do try to give people the benefit of the doubt. I really do try. And Matt Nagy has made it harder and harder each week.
Oh, I feel
mean,
like he was trolling for
each
sure.
week, dog. I promise you. Like Ryan Pace, as y'all can see, gave the benefit of the doubt. I had good reason to give him the benefit of the doubt. I can make an argument for it. After a while, I tried to give it to Matt Nagy. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I have nothing there. The only thing I can say is he holds a great post game.
Yeah.
His post game
post-game.
interviews.
Great word salad.
Great word salad. Talks in circles 1,001 times. He'd be a great lawyer. Deflect the heck. Just deflect the heck out of everything. Just
Hey,
everything.
listen, I didn't know what you said. I thought I was going to have to hit the dump button on that one.
Oh, I was about to cough in the middle of it.
You got tongue twisted at the wrong time.
Didn't want to hit the Rona on the thing. Didn't want nobody to say, oh, he's sick. No, I'm not sick. I just choked. Anyway, I can't do it. I have nothing to I sit there and to congratulate. I have nothing to sit there and reward. There's nothing there.
Hey, listen, I was trying to kind of wait to see if any news would drop with Nagy. We will be live for the Bulls post game as well, or Bulls live call and Bulls post game as well. So if any news drops tonight, y'all will get our live reaction to it, because we're gonna be live pretty much all day today. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page if you have not already done so, man. And join the Breeze Super Chat. Let me get some Bear Dons in the chat before we get up out of here, man. Because I'll tell you this right now, we've been Bears fans long before Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace ever showed up here in Chicago in their little clown car that they all jumped out of, and we'll be Bears fans long after, man. It's the Windy City Breeze Bears post game show. We got some clips from this one, dog. That's gonna be funny. And we'll holler at y'all later tonight. So y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. It's your boy Pat the Designer, joined by the pettiest man alive, Mr. P.